is Natalia Gavlin and I'm an immigration attorney in New York City. Today I would like to tell you the options available to people who get picked up by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, otherwise known as ICE. The process depends on whether or not you were an arriving alien at the time when you were arrested by ICE, or if you were just picked up while being in the United States. So first I would like to address the issues of what happens if you are an arriving alien. The situation is a little bit different for arriving aliens because those people are not eligible for bond. They can still be released, but that would be on parole, and it's totally at DHS discretion. If the person is released on parole, then they can proceed to apply for a particular relief in the immigration court. However, if the case is not approved for parole and the person is kept detained, then they will have to appear before the immigration judge in detention proceedings and see what relief they could apply for and whether or not they will be successful on that ground. If, however, a lot of people ask us this question, their relatives or their friends are picked up by ICE while already being in the United States, let's say from their home or from work or just from the street, the situation is a little bit different. Depending on the charges that are brought up in the notice to appear, otherwise known as NTA, certain things related to bond, certain rules apply. So, for example, unless you are subject to mandatory detention, which usually relates to being accused of particular crimes, usually aggravated felonies, if you have that charge in your NTA, you will probably not be eligible for release, and you will be held, as the government will call it, subject to mandatory detention. In that case, the immigration judge does not have the jurisdiction to rule on the release of such alien. However, if you're not subject to mandatory detention, then technically you are eligible for release on bond. In that case, you need to request a bond hearing with the immigration judge and show equities and also your ability to pay the bond that's requested. Another thing that the immigration judge will look at would be your likelihood of appearing at the next court hearing, as well as your flight risk, whether or not you are a flight risk. If you can properly present all the documentations and properly testify before the immigration judge, they can release you on bond, which could be posted by your family members or your friends, and the person is released. Once the person is no longer in the custody of DHS, they are now transferred to a different court, which in New York is located at 26th Federal Plaza, and your case will be assigned to one of the judges. When you go before the judge, you can apply for relief, and again, depending on what relief available for your situation, you will proceed with that relief. So a lot of people ask us what kind of relief you can apply for if you go before the immigration judge after being placed in removal proceedings. It is very difficult to answer that question without knowing more facts, because the relief that's available to you depends on your particular circumstances. Those include possible fear of returning back to your country, family relationship in the United States, qualifying relatives, maybe United States citizen children or spouses. Also, a lot of relief depends on whether or not you have particular criminal charges that are brought up against you by ICE. So the attorney who is handling such case should definitely examine the NTA very carefully to make sure that all the allegations and charges properly there, and if they aren't, then they should definitely deny those charges and proceed with the particular relief that is available in that situation. So if you have any questions specifically related to your case, whether or not it's about bond or parole or forms of relief applications that can be filed, you should definitely consult with an experienced attorney to make sure that your case is properly presented and that your defense to removability from this country is properly argued before the judge. If you have any questions, feel free to contact our office. Thank you.